Yeah, how was that for an opening? That gets you in the mood to jam. Good morning, everybody. Andy Smith here. Like I posted, I'm going to share some of my original art collection. I've been collecting original art for since I was like 15. Yeah, my dad would take me to conventions and I'd meet artists and I'd buy sketches back then, and I still have them, so I can show you that stuff. For those that don't know me, Andy Smith, I've been a professional comic book artist for, well, next year marks 30 years. 30 years, that's crazy. I mean, I'm only 35 years old. How can I be doing this for 30 years? As you can see, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Yes, they suck this year. I know. You don't have to tell me. I get it. I get it. Okay, so let's start off by of course, I've got an Indiegogo campaign going on, so I'm going to talk about that real quick, and from there we'll go to original art, which is why you're here. So let's start off with my campaign.
First Man. You know the drill. A college kid is imbued with great power and likes it. Penumbra has other plans, and Hand delivers him to Monarch, a fun 64-page action-packed comic book harkening back to the glory days of Marvel Comics, only on Indiegogo. First Man.
There you go. That is my campaign. Let me show you the campaign page here. All right, here's the campaign page. We'll go full bleed. You don't need to see my face. First Man, if you like good old-fashioned Silver Age type comic books, you will like First Man. It is a mix of Captain Marvel, Shazam. You get a 64-page graphic novel that is perfect bound, nice square bound, full color. I've got a variant cover by my buddy Bart in there. I'm also doing a program book, which will show some behind the scenes stuff, as well as spotlight some variant artist friends of mine, their rendition of First Man. I've got my parody ad. Who did not love the Hostess ads growing up in comics? I know I did. So I've got that going on. There's Bart's variant cover. You can see I've got art interpretations of First Man by Alan Davis, Brandon Peterson, George Perez, Bart Sears, J. Scott Campbell, Adam Hughes, Brian Hitch, Mike Zeck, Kevin Nolan, and a couple more in the program book, which is also going 40 pages, and it's going to be filled with behind the scenes stuff of the making of the book. There's a pledge level where I will draw in the inside back cover of the book a headshot or a figure shot. So please back my campaign. I would appreciate it. Indie Comics rely on people like you to help us out. So thank you very much. Hey, look, there's the guy. He's back. Oh, real quick. They suck every year. Come on now. That is not true. You know it's not true. You must be a Giants fan. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's move on. So, we're here for original art. Let's show some original art. Excuse me while I bend down to pick it up. So, like I said, when I was 15 years old, I would go to conventions with my dad. And one of the first artists I met was an artist named Tom Lyle. Tom and I struck up a friendship, and unfortunately Tom passed away last year, but we were lifelong friends and such. This is a convention sketch Mr. Lyle did for me of Northstar. I loved Northstar. I loved Alpha Flight growing up as a kid. So this is one of my first con sketches I got from Mr. Lyle. You can see it dated 1985. So I would go to another convention and Tom would be there, and this time I had him draw First Man and his sister Aurora. Oops. Excuse me, I don't have a lot of this stuff scanned in, so that's why I'm showing it like this. You can tell this one's dated 1986 by Mr. Tom. And then because I was a student of art, because I wanted to be a comic book artist, I literally in 1987, when I went to the con, I asked Tom to just do me breakdowns. Hopefully you can see that. Breakdowns. Breakdowns, for those that don't know, are the rough pencils, the underlying structure before you go to finished pencils and then inks. And I love seeing that process of the art from different artists. I mean, it's the, for me as an artist, this is the fun part of drawing, is just breaking it down and figuring it out. So that's Aquaman. That's from 1987. Like I said, I met him in 85. This is the Incredible Hulk he did for me. I should scan these in and print them out and on Bristol board on light blue and ink them just for fun. Might have to do that. Oh, this is also from 85. I skipped over Megaton, or Megalith, sorry, Megalith. There's so many megas out there. So this is Megalith, Neil Adams' character. Tom told me that he did this for Neil, kind of like to show him what his version of Megalith would look like. So this is 1985 as well. And then this page my dad got for me before I went to the Kubert School. I'm not exactly sure where he got it, and it took me about 20 years to track down the book because the top right here where it usually says the book is cut off. But it's from an issue of Captain America. I don't have the issue number. Let me do this. I don't have the issue number, unfortunately, but the artist is a guy named Bob Downs. So, you know, this was the first comic book page I ever owned. And, you know, I still have it. It's in my collection. I want to say, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to say it's from the issue of What If. So that could be, it could be What If. And then my journey took me to the Kubert School. I went to the Kubert School. I started in the fall of 1988. I graduated in 1991. While I was there, I met a plethora of professional artists. And in my first year at the Kubert School, hey, Shadowhawk, thanks for the shout out. I appreciate it. What's up, Shadowhawk? Thank you for joining. So anyhow, I was in my first year at the Kubert School. I don't remember the class, but you know, we'd have substitute teachers come in just like any school has a substitute throughout the year. And one of our substitute teachers was, hey, Lorenzo, was an artist named Tom Mandrake. Now, growing up, one of the books Tom did that I really enjoyed was he did a Shazam miniseries for DC, which is like the retelling of Shazam's origin. So in class, you know, I was really, because I was friends with Tom Lyle, and I would still talk to Tom. Tom was working on Starman at the time. I asked Tom if he would do a drawing of Starman for me. So Tom so graciously whipped out, this drawing of Starman for me in pencil. Then you can see it was just torn out of a sketchbook. And, you know, I'm a pack rat. And when it comes to original art, I do not throw it away. So I still have this. This is another one I should just scan in for fun and ink blue line. All right, let's move on to some of my original art collection. There is one other piece I want to show. Let's see if it's in this portfolio. Oh, it is. So to backtrack, before I broke into the business, when I was still going to conventions as a teenager with my dad, driving me there, one of the professional artists I met at the time is Ron Frenz. We all know who Ron Frenz is. Ron had a great run on Spider-Man. What I remember him for when I was reading comics as a kid was Thor. I loved his Thor work. I have the Epic collections of it. I love Ron's work. It's Kirby, it's Buscema. It is just powerful. So I met Ron at a con, and that's right. I told you I love Northstar. So Ron did this drawing of Northstar for me, and it just blew my mind watching him draw this so quick in pencil. And then he just took a Sharpie, big Sharpie, fine point, the bullet point Sharpie, and just inked it up. I still love this. This is one of my favorites. So, and it's just, it blows my mind that I am friends with Ron now. On Facebook, I've met him at conventions. I've fawned over him at conventions. Here you go. This guy knows. Lorenzo knows what's up. Gotta love Ron Frenz. So it's so cool how things, just come around. I mean, when I got that from him as a kid, I never would have thought in a million years that I'd be drawing comics professionally and then be able to say, I'm friends with Ron Frenz. So, all right, let's go through some other stuff here. So when I was at the Kubert School in my third year, my senior year, I met Bart Sears. Bart was teaching second-year students at the time, and I was kind of bummed because I'm like, wait a second, this is not right. I should be able to have Bart as a teacher. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to introduce myself to him. So I went down, I introduced myself to Bart, showed him some of my work. He must have seen something in it because he kind of took me under his wing, and he would mentor me. And he lived in town. So I would kind of go over to his place after school and hang out while he was drawing. And at the time, he was drawing Justice League Europe. And there was one time I was doing homework, and I was working on an assignment, and Bart was drawing a page, and I saw him draw from start to finish this page. I've got to do this. This page of Justice League Europe art. This is just, I fell in love with this page. I love Captain Atom. It was funny. He drew Power Girls, boobages. I like to say boobages. He drew Power Girls boobages. He would push the envelope every issue and draw them bigger. And then we'd go into the office, because I would go into the office and with him a few times, and Andy Helfer, his editor, would have a patch of art over top, and they were reduced down, smaller than what Bart did. So it was kind of his way just to kind of poke fun at the editor and stuff. So this was one shot where there was a patch over him that after he got the art back, he peeled it up. And you can kind of see, let's see, to Andy, your pal Bart. And this was basically a graduation present he gave me when I graduated the Kubert School. So I love it. Love it. And then it kind of went on to this tradition of me picking up art from stuff Bart worked on different projects. I'd always pester him and be like, come on, man, hook me up with a page of art from that. I've got another cool page from him that he was doing at the time. He hooked me up with this page. This is from DC's Who's Who Power Girl that Bart did, pencil and inks on, back in 1990, so soon to be 31 years ago. So this is another piece that he gifted me. Like I said, I keep stuff. I keep it. So it's another piece of original art I have from Bart. A lot of what I'll be showing in the beginning is most of the stuff I have is from Bart, but I do have other pieces. Now we're just going to go out of order here. Bart did a Sabertooth miniseries for Marvel, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. So this is a page I got from that. It's very cool. Sabertooth and Wendigo going at it, fighting. That's a very cool page. One of the things I love about the business is, you know, I inked Bart for a while at a company called CrossGen. So, you know, when you ink somebody's work, or when an inker inks my work, you split the art 2/3, 1/3. So basically, if it's a 21-page book, the penciler gets 14 pages and the inker gets 7. So out of a lot of the art that I've inked, I've kept a lot of it. I've sold pieces too, but I've kept a lot. Well, this is one that from CrossGen, the first book Bart and I worked on that I inked. So that's a keeper. Moving on. Do we all know the Tick? Let's have some love for the Tick, right? I loved the Tick as a kid. I used to have issue 1. Still wish I did, because that's worth some money now. But I do have issue 2 still with the die cut cover. But anyhow, I don't have a Ben Edlund page from the Tick, but I did pick up off eBay, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, a page of the Tick. And I'm awful because I don't remember the artist's name, and that is shameful of me. But I picked up this nice full page of the Tick. Has a nice shot of the Tick on it. I should really organize my art because none of this stuff is in order. I had this really big page. Once again, I said I loved Megalith from Neil Adams' studio. So this is a page of Megalith drawn by Mike Nasser, who back then was going by Netzer. I believe his real last name is Nasser. Anyhow, love this page. Great shot of Megalith, top and bottom. Megalith, look how jacked he is. He's just like, I'm Megalith. I'm the Hulk Megalith. I will punch your face right off. You'll have to bend down with no eyes and try and pick your face up off the ground. Megalith. Love that page. Oh yeah, another Tick fan right here. Benny Spoon. You know it. Tick, I tell you, the Tick is a character that I would love to draw the Tick. I would love to draw a Tick story. I think it would be so much fun. I would work in a cartoonier style. I mean, the Tick would just be awesome to draw. Here's a page that this is just a great pairing of artists. I still love Superman. And growing up, I say growing up, but my studio, that's funny, Michael. Hey, Michael. My studio is a mini comic shop. You can kind of see in the frame that way, that way, the edge of my comic boxes. I've got a lot more comic boxes than that. You can just see my bookshelves behind me. But yeah, I've got toys all over the place. Yeah. Yep. Ben Edlund did create the Tick, but that page I have that I showed is not drawn by Ben. Ben only did the first, 12, 13 issues of the Tick? I don't know. Ben, there have been more issues of the Tick not drawn by Ben than there are issues of the Tick. So anyhow, but thank you for that comment. So going back, when I was buying Superman in the early 90s, late 80s, Kerry Gamble was drawing it. Love Kerry Gamble's artwork. Just love Kerry Gamble's artwork. So I was able to pick up a page, a splash page pinup. I'm not sure where this was printed, if it was printed, drawn by Kerry Gamble and inked by the great legendary Jose Luis Garcia Lopez of the Eradicator Superman right here. So this is a prize of my collection as well. Just, you've got two fantastic creators on, let's see, one page, Kerry Gamble and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Goodness, all right there. I wish I can remember where I picked these up at. Conventions, I guess, maybe online. I have no idea. Love this page. So that's another piece of art that I have that I just go goo goo gaga over. Some current pieces I have. I love, you'll hear me say love a lot. I love everybody. I'm such a loving person. It's not even funny. If you know me, you go, man, that Andy Smith is a loving person. Well, I love Green Lantern, and I love Doug Mahnke's artwork and his run on the book. So my buddy Keith Champagne, who inked these pages over Doug, hooked me up with them at a nice rate. Helps to have friends in the business. Morning, Eric. Eric McIntyre says hello. Well, hello. So this is by Doug Mahnke pencils, Keith Champagne inks, as I like to call him. Whenever I call Keith, he answers the phone, hello, and my reply back is, Sippo Champagne! And he'll even give me crap if I don't say it right, because sometimes I just don't have the energy, and I'll be like, hey, Sippo Champagne, and he'll be like, what is that? And then I got to be like, sorry, dude, let me say it again. Sippo Champagne! Here's another Doug page that I got from Keith. I tell you, getting this all set for the camera, I should really scan all this stuff. I need an assistant to come over and scan all my original art. That's what I need. And I'm not talking the original art I collect. I'm talking all my original art too, because that is Hal Jordan. Good eye there, buddy. That's Hal Jordan. These are from Green Lantern issue 58. They're both from issue 58. So good eye. All right, let's move on to some more artwork here as we go through. Give me a moment as I flip through my portfolio because I got to pull pages out. Here's a combo you don't see often. This is from Blade, pencils by Bart Sears, inks by Bill Sienkiewicz. How cool is that? Bart Sears being inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. I can't tell you enough how much I love this page. I mean, seriously, Bill's inks are so just raw and filled with energy, and his textures. I mean, the man is just phenomenal. Let's see. Look at this stuff. That is just sweet. Love that stuff. So that's a killer page I have. Oh, I hope you guys like Bart's work, because like I said, I have more than just Bart Sears artwork in my collection, but you know, he's a pal, so he's gifted me a bunch of artwork throughout the years. You know what? I'm going to take these out of the portfolio. I'll just hold the portfolio up. These are two covers I got from Bart back in the day. These were this is Titan for Dark Horse. This one on the left of the screen where he's punching that monster in the corner, you see X popping up out of a manhole. Fun fact, on the printed cover, they took X out. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a story thing, but he's gone. So that is penciled by Bart and inked by Ray Crissing. This one over here with the big werewolf dude behind Titan is inked by me, obviously drawn by Bart. So this is when we were sharing a studio up in Syracuse. Bart and I had a studio we'd go into every day and work right next to each other. Our desks were next to each other. And he penciled it, got it approved from Dark Horse, and just slid it right over, and I inked it. So I got those. I'm showing a couple more Bart pieces, but trust me, I do have more art than just Bart. Like I said, this is original art I collect, so I'm not showing any of my originals. That's a whole nother topic. These are from the very first days of Ominous Press back in the early 90s when we did Ominous Press sharing a studio. This is a page from the Death of Pharaoh, or Pharaoh's backup story. I just love that figure of Pharaoh's in space. right there. He's grieving over something. He's sad. He's sad. He cries. Pharaohs has a heart. Heroes cry, man. Come on. No shaming here. Look at that. Just look at that. That is just beautiful. And then over this way, we've got Brute's brother, Dramorg. He's an evil SOB, and he's got Babe captured. Brute's on the ground. So, love this last panel, that forced perspective in that last panel. Sorry for the glare, but it's in a portfolio. Original art, for people that don't know, if they're wondering what it is, it's all 11 by 17. Hold on, I got a question here. Eric McIntyre, does Bart still do comics? Eric, yes, he does. In fact, he's working for Heavy Metal on a creator-owned project, and issue 302 of Heavy Metal came out this past week, and Bart's first chapter of Maiden is in it, and it'll be monthly in Heavy Metal. So you can check out Bart's work in Heavy Metal. All right, let's move on. Let's see if it's more Bart stuff. It is. Good Lord. Okay, this is, I hope everybody's over 18, because back in the day, Bart and I did some work for Penthouse Comics. I only did like an 7 to 8 page story. Bart did a few stories for Penthouse. So this one page I want to show you, you should be over 18. Just saying, and you'll see why. I'll just leave it at that. But there's also an Exo Man of War page that the main Exo figure is in pencil only because Bart didn't draw the right armor, big dum-dum, so he had to redraw it, and that's the one that was printed. So first the Exo page, and this is the Exo in that new armor that was blue. It's only in pencil, it's kind of hard to see. I'll move up. But I just love this big figure. Bart is known for basically saying, you know what? If a page of a book is going to start with a boring splash page of a street scene, I mean, come on. I'm going to draw a big figure on that page to make it cooler looking. So that's what he did right there. This is the Penthouse page. It's a little spicy meatballs, just from the standpoint of the naked chick whose name is, I can't remember that character's name. I want to say Pubica, because you could probably guess what her superpower is. We'll just leave it there. You guess what her superpower is. All right, so that's a Bart page, he pencil and inked. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, this might be the last Bart page that I show. This is from Mutant X. Bart, what's that? Bart did some work on one issue of Mutant X. Hello. I like to poke behind the art. Hello. Hello. This is Mutant X. I thought this was a great page. This was drawn by Bart, inked by my buddy Andrew Peapoy, who did a great job inking it. Look at that back shot of Mutant X. I mean, man, comics, right? This is freaking great comics right here. So got a little Mutant X action going on by Bart. Slide that back in the old portfolio real quick. All right, let's move on to some more art to show you guys. Oh, here's a fun page. Everybody know who Brett Booth is? Brett Booth, who's been working steady at DC for a number of years now, but got his start at Wildstorm under Jim Lee. Really love that style. So I picked up this page of Backlash Taboo by Brett at a con, probably. I didn't get it from Brett himself. But I thought it was a cool page. So it's got a nice big shot of Backlash. I think that's Taboo behind him. Just a fun page. Another really fun page. God, I really do need somebody to scan all this stuff for me. Who lives close by that would like to come by my house and do some scanning? Which one are you talking about, Michael? Michael loves... hold on. Love the dark line weight on that last one. Ah, I wish I saw that earlier so I know what last one you're talking about. Unfortunately, I don't. Andy, I love your art. Love your art. Bart's too. Your women alone are astonishing. Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate that. Oh, Exo. He was talking about Exo. Yeah, man. That's good stuff. All right, moving on. This is fun. Thanks for joining me, by the way. As basically I take a trip down memory lane because all this art's in these portfolios in a closet. I don't pull it out to look at much. This is a page, Alpha Flight. Who loves Alpha Flight? This guy loves Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight by Scott Clark. Scott unfortunately passed away 3 or 4 years ago now. I never met Scott, but I did interact with him through email. That's how I got this page. Let me hide this comment so you can see it. This is Scott Clark on Alpha Flight. Got 2 of my fave characters, Guardian, his wife Heather. So I think that's a very cool page. All this art is mostly 10 by 15 on, comic board. All right, here's some fun stuff I'm going to show. Fun stuff. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Yeah, you are. This. I grew up loving Don Simpson's Megaton Man. Do we all know who Megaton Man is? Big, over-muscled, satirical superhero. I was lucky enough to meet Don and correspond with him, and I bought off of Don 3 pages from Savage Dragon, Megaton Man. I mean, look at that. Comics, right? I mean, this is the stuff. I was in the business when this came out, but I mean, this is the stuff when I saw Megaton Man as a kid that I had to, I just had to draw comics. And I made up my own big goofy hero called Captain Zero. So that's 1 page. Like I said, I told you I got 3. But not only did I get Megaton Man stuff, when Don and Eric Larson did Savage Dragon Megaton Man, this was back in the infancy of using computers in the business. And I think Eric Larson laid out the whole book, and he drew and inked his dragon stuff, and then he sent the pages to Don, and Don penciled and inked his Megaton Man stuff. So these 2 pages are literally original art of Don Simpson and Eric Larson combined goodness. Just duking it out. Little Eric Larson dragon right there. I mean, that is just stellar stuff. Just love this stuff. Good times, right? Good times. Moving on. Here's a page of Turok by Rags Morales, and my buddy Randy Elliott inked it. And next to it is a Christmas cover for I can't remember the name of the newspaper now. It was a comic book like weekly newspaper that came out, but Bernard Chang drew the Visitor for the cover. Look at that. So on the left, that is Rags Morales Turok, inked by Randy Elliott, splash page. And then on the right, we've got The Visitor by Bernard Chang. Hey, William, anytime. I'm glad to share the stuff. So that's Bernard Chang drawing The Visitor with Santa's sleigh that was on a Christmas issue of the weekly magazine that unfortunately I can't remember anymore. Comic Buyer's Guide. Wait, was it Comic Buyer? It might have been Comic Buyer's Guide. I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. This is fun. Do we all know who Salvador Laroca is? He's been a Marvel mainstay for 25 years, maybe, if not longer. But if you remember back in the 90s, he had a run on Alpha Flight, or not Alpha Flight, Fantastic Four. And I picked up a page of his Fantastic Four stuff with Reed Richards and some bad dude who I don't know who it is. And then next to this is, well, we'll see if you can guess who the artist is next to it. But we'll start with this page right here, Fantastic Four by Salvador Laroca. And I believe Art to Bear inked it. And then over here, Art Adams. This is the only like Art Adams stuff I own besides a couple rough sketches. And this was from a Wizard tutorial that Art did in an issue of Wizard magazine. I don't know what the subject matter was, but you got Mojo. You got a great shot of, I can't remember her name, from Wildcats. I just love that. I love Art's proportions on women. And then I think Art drawing himself down there saying, turn the page. So that's a fun Art Adams piece I own. Oh, Ron Garney. I've known Ron Garney for 26, 27 years. And on an issue of Captain America, it was Captain America #5, I believe, when it came back in Heroes Return, Ron did breakdowns for the whole issue. And I was sharing a studio at the time with John Beatty in Florida, and the editor asked if we could do finishes over Ron's breakdowns for the issue. So John, I think I inked like 6 pages out of the whole book, and John did the rest of it. But I kept one of the pages from it. I wish I would have kept more, but I only got 3 back. And then next to this page I'm going to show Captain America is a page that Mark Morales, a phenomenal inker, inked over Ron's X-Men stuff featuring Magneto. So let's go here. This is the Captain America page. Oops, get my fingers out of the way. That's the Captain America page I did finishes over on Ron. Cap fighting Hydra. Hydra scrawls. What? So that was fun. Inking Ron was fun. And then here is the X-Men page that I own, that Mark Morales did the inks on, and Mark is a phenomenal inker. I've been lucky enough to have Mark ink some of my pencils on some stuff. Stupid pop-ups. Let's see what else we got. Like I said, this is just as, oh, here's some sketches. I can pull these little things out. Do we know who drew this? Who drew that? Well, it says right on it, John Romita Jr. Punisher, Con sketch. How cool is that, man? John's stuff is just power. Like, I look at John's stuff and the first word that comes to mind, power. It's powerful stuff. His storytelling is top notch. You know, he picked up everything. He picked up a ton of stuff from his dad, and then incorporated Kirby and Buscema and all the greats as well. And now he's his own man. This I picked up off eBay, I believe. Gotta be careful. Joe Kubert sketches of that character that I guess he created for the superhero catalog that came out, I think, in the 70s and 80s for a bit. And you ordered superhero merchandise and stuff like that from it. You know, this is just, it's just fun stuff, you know, right here. Phenomenal stuff by Joe. So got to be careful with that. This is to, I can't remember who Joe signed it to. To Chad. Regards, 1992. Everybody, of course, knows who Mike Rowingo is. He is just in a class of his own. And what I mean by that is when he burst onto the scene doing The Flash, and Mike had such a definitive style. You didn't look at Mike's work and go, oh, this guy likes this guy. Like, look, everybody looks at my work and they're like, oh, Andy, yeah, I mean, he obviously likes Bart Sears' work. He likes Alan Davis. I mean, you can tell looking at my work, and I've got no problem with that. I mean, that's cool with me. I like the way I draw, so that's fine. But Mike Rowingo was just one of his own. And this page Mike gave to me. We actually traded artwork. I can't remember what I gave in return to Mike, but this page of the Hornet. The book was written by Todd DeZago. My bad, Todd. Sorry. Who I'm good friends with as well. And I love this page. I love that shot of the Hornet. I mean, that is just so cool. So that's from the late great Mike Rowingo. Over here, we've got a page of Solar Man of the Atom by Tom Grinberg, inked by Dick Giordano. You know, love this so much. I said, I'm full up. So you're just going to hear me say, I love this, I love that, I love everything. Oh, this is cool. Jason Pearson, good buddy of mine. Jason and I, little fun story. And I got married in 1995, and that summer, I got married in October, but that summer I went down to Atlanta. I can't remember why. But anyhow, Gaijin Studios was, in full capacity at that time with, Brian Stelfreeze, Jason Pearson, Kelly Hamner, Dave Johnson, Adam Hughes. And I went by there and hung out, and then did a little impromptu bachelor party at a place called the Cheetah in Atlanta. So, it was fun, very nice visuals. And Jason and I were sitting next to each other for a good part of the night chatting and stuff. So I love Jason Pearson, love his artwork, love Body Bags. I have no idea who this character is I'm about to show you. I got this off of eBay because you'll see it's signed to Robert in 1995, but a pencil drawing by Jason of some big dude. And I just thought it was super cool. So picked it up. Well, Jason Pearson pencils. And no, I will never ink this. So thought that was super cool. Oh, here's another Jason Pearson page from a book called Vanguard from Eric Larson's studio. I actually drew an issue of Vanguard. I love this pinup. This was inked by Jim Sinclair, drawn by Jason in 1993. You can really see the Michael Golden influence on Jason here, especially not as much in the figure work, but in this little speeder thing right here. That is so Michael Golden looking. And, Jason's not going to, doesn't shy away from it. Who doesn't love Michael Golden's work? So I love this shot of Vanguard. Just love it. Nice pin up there. I picked up. Man, just love that. Seeing this stuff just makes me want to sit down at my desk and draw, or rip up my stuff, because I'm just like, oh, look at this art. Another friend of mine, Aaron Lopresti, who we worked at CrossGen together. After CrossGen, he went to Marvel, worked on Excalibur for a bit. I was able to get this cover from him back in 2004 that is one of my favorite characters, the Angel, inked by Tim Townsend. Tim and I go way back. I met Tim back in, I believe, 1991, way before Tim moved out to Cali to work at Extreme Studios is when I met Tim, before Tim broke into business. In fact, little known fact, What am I doing? I'm full of facts. Facts, I tell you, facts. Tim drew backgrounds for me in some issues of Quasar. He penciled some buildings and stuff for me. So anyhow, that's a little unknown fact about Mr. Tim. So Tim inked this over Aaron Lopresti. Just love this. Look at those wings. Look at them. Look at that line work. Just love this cover. Love it. Slide that back into the folio. Oh, Carlos. Who does not know Carlos Pacheco? Mr. Pacheco's been around at Marvel forever. One of his first things there, I believe, was the Bishop miniseries. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that was. I don't know. But he did X-Men for a while. Once again, he worked with the phenomenal inker and artist in his own right, Art Taber. So I picked up this X-Men page by Mr. Pacheco, you know, over 20 years ago. I just love that. I love that figure in the first panel on the left next to my big goofy head. Just love that. Inks are nice and crisp. So Carlos Pacheco page, X-Men page. Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. So that's one folio. Oh, I'm not done. I have more folios. So this is not original art, but I picked this up at a convention before I was a professional. And you're like, oh, look, Icarus, the Icarus design for the Eternals by Jack Kirby. You know, but here's what's cool. Let's get it in camera. That's signed by Jack Kirby. This was back before authentication and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I guess it's my word against everybody else's that that's Jack Kirby's real signature, but that's Jack Kirby's real signature. So even though it's a little 8.5 by 11 cardstock print of Icarus, that is Jack Kirby's real signature. So I guess I got to figure out some way to get that verified, and I should probably frame this. So that's the closest I had to Jack Kirby original. I told you I had some Art Adams rough sketches. So here's an Art Adams rough. Don't ask me what these were for, but once again, I love figure construction. I love seeing how people construct things. So that's a little Art Adams figure construction for you of some women. And then this is, I got these directly from Art at a Heroes Con years ago. And these are some dudes, some figure construction by Art. And that is just comics to me. That is comic books right there. So love that stuff. Love that chicken from Popeyes. I'll just break out in song every now and then. Just, you know, ignore me. Here's a Green Lantern page, penciled by Billy Tan, inked by my buddy Rob Hunter. Rob Hunter is an inker that worked for DC for many years, met him at CrossGen. And then he went on to DC for many years, inking there. He's still in comics, doing independent stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about. But anyhow, so Rob Hunter, or as I like to call him, Bobby C, hooked me up with this page because I'm a Green Lantern fan. I like Billy Tan's work. So that's a very cool page he gave me. So like I said, we're way past the Bart Sears stuff now, just rolling on. I have some more Bart pages, but I want to show other stuff. Here's a page from my buddy Randy Elliott, inked by Terry Austin for Archie Comics. A little Archie story that Randy did that he sent me. I did him a favor, and in return, this showed up in the mail. So thank you, Mr. Randy. I love Randy's inks. He's inked me a few times. And in this, you're going, what is that? That looks familiar. Whose art is that? Scott Eaton. Scott Eaton, another artist I met at CrossGen. He's a DC staple. Now, this is some early work from Scott in the early 90s. He worked on Vanguard as well. So that's a Vanguard page that Scott hooked me up with. Big cool shot of Vanguard there. Let's see. Here's another page by Scott Eaton of Vanguard. You can tell Scott was very heavily influenced at the time he drew this by Dale Keown. I mean, come on, Dale Keown. Who's not influenced by Dale Keown? So another cool page of Vanguard by Scott. What's up, Fragaboom? Fragaboom says, good morning. Well, good morning, Mr. Dan. Just going through some artwork. See what else we got here. Oh, I love sketches, like I said. Here's a pencil sketch by Mr. Kerry Gamble. And if you're just joining the live stream, feel free to go back and rewatch it. You can see all the other art I've posted earlier or shown. This is basically a con sketch from 1992. I didn't get it from a con. I got it off probably eBay. But once again, Superman, Kerry Gamble. What can I say? Love it. Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson, Mr. Wonder Man fame. Jeff was drawing Wonder Man for Marvel when I was working on Quasar. I believe Wonder Man was Jeff's first monthly book in the industry. And Quasar is my first monthly book in the industry, even though I started at DC Comics a year before that. I didn't have a monthly book at DC. And so, you know, Jeff's gone on to great things. He's a fantastic artist. I've always enjoyed Jeff's work. And he did a Supreme miniseries called Legend of Supreme. And it was inked by Dan Panosian. And I was able to get 2 pages of Jeff's work from it. You can tell what I like in my artwork. I like big figures and stuff. I mean, look at that. Supreme bursting through the ceiling, scaring the poor secretary. And then another Supreme, just like, I'm out of here, taking off into space. I mean, Jeff's work is just, he's another one to me that Jeff's work you just look at and you can see tidbits of other artists, but he's very unique in his own. Love Jeff's work. Would love to see him on a comic book again. Here's another Alpha Flight piece. This was a trading card. This was by, you guessed it, my buddy Bart Sears gifted this to me. Little Guardian and Puck action. This is for a trading card. Oh, now that's nice. Look at that. Oops. Right here. Fragaboom, he lived 5 minutes from Jeff. Used to watch him draw Wonder Man. That's awesome, Dan. I never knew that. Yeah, when Jeff was in the studio working at CrossGen, he sat like literally 10 feet from me and we would watch each other draw. We would actually take breaks in the middle of our quad, it was called, because there were 4 desks forming like a box. And in the middle, we had a conference table at CrossGen, and we would sit and just play chess every now and then. And I don't think I ever won a game of chess against Jeff because he's just too damn good. Anyhow, this is Bart inking himself with markers, you know, microns and whatever. So, love that. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Let me go through here, see what else we got. Oh, that's what I was going to show. I've got a couple pages from a guy you might have heard of named Andy Kubert. Andy the Man Kubert, born or from the legendary Joe Kubert's loins. Like I said, I went to the Kubert school. That's where I met Andy Kubert, and I met his brother Adam there as well. They substitute teach for a little bit. When I went to the Kubert school, Andy and Adam had studios in the basement, and basement sounds bad, but it was the basement of the school where they had their studio set up so I could go down and watch each of those guys work. Well, when Andy took over X-Men, I was already graduated from the school, but, you know, we stayed in touch. Through the school, I also met an inker named Mark Pennington, who inked Andy at the time. And, you know, Mark's a great guy. He's a great inker. We've worked together before on some stuff. So I picked up a page of X-Men inked by Mark, and then I picked up a page of X-Men inked by Matt Ryan. So here they are. You're like, shut up and show the pages. This one on the right here is inked by Mr. Mark Pennington. Big shot of Strife. Love this page. Nice close-up of Strife down below. And then over here, this page is inked by Matt Ryan. I believe that's Psylocke in the first panel, but this is the money shot right there. Look at that shot of Archangel. I mean, that is just luscious, luscious. Andy knows how to compose pages that just pull you in. I mean, look, I'm old school. I'm all about drawing a big shot on a page. That's just the way it goes. I love big shots on pages. I think they pull you in. I think they make the page more exciting to look at. I remember I had Joe Kubert as a teacher at the Kubert School for second and third year of my time there. And I remember Joe saying that, you know, you want to always, when you're laying out a page, it's fine to do 6-panel grids and 4-panel grids, but, you know, part of storytelling is flow, and it's kind of rhythmic like music. So you vary the size of the panel, so you have some ups and downs in the storytelling. And Joe was like, you know, when somebody picks up a book off the rack, it's a visual medium, they're going to flip through it. And when they flip through it, no matter what page they land on, there should be something eye-catching, a big close-up of a face, somebody's really intense, you know, a big figure. It could be a big long shot of a city that is just so beautifully drawn that you just stop on it, but something on the page. All right, moving on. Neal Adams. I only have 2 things by Neal. I have a sketch cover of Batman that I drew that at a convention a few years back, I paid Neal to ink and over me, so I can say Neal Adams inked me. But page-wise, I have this. And you're like, what the hell is that? Well, this is Megalith. And when Neal would have other artists work on his books for Continuity Studios, he would sometimes take the pages and put vellum tracing paper over them and re-ink key shots on the page because, you know, it's Neal's studio. If you look at all the books that came out of Continuity Studios, they all had, no matter the artist, they all had a Neal vibe to them, you know, a house style. And some of that is because Neal would redraw things. So this is Neal's inking an art that was taped to the back of a page I got from Salvador, who drew some Megalith stuff. So this is one of the pages of Megalith I got. Just love that. You can tell in this panel right here that, and that's a paste up that Neal did. So that's a Neal redraw. And it's not saying that Salvador's art's bad, because it's not at all. Nobody that worked for Neal was bad. It's just Neal wants faces and stuff to have his flair to it, so Neal would go back in and redraw stuff. Here's a couple other pages I have from that issue. You know, this right here, there's that shot that Neal redid on the tracing paper of Megalith swooping or whatever off a branch. And these were penciled by Salvador, and I believe inked by Stan Drake. And Stan Drake is was a phenomenal artist. And I love Megalith. Look at that. Boosh, look at those pecs. Wish I had pecs like that. But no, I was not gifted that way. No matter how hard I work out, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, so I'm going to show you 2 Aquaman pages now. One of them is drawn by Ivan Rice, who relaunched the book back in 08 or 07, I guess, with Jeff Johns. Actually, this page is from Brightest Day, but Aquaman's on it. It's just his pencils because Ivan lives in Brazil. I know most of his work is inked by Joe Prado, but I guess this book got behind, so they had to call in other inkers. So they inked over Ivan's blue lines. But I was able to pick up a page of his pencils, and then next to it is a page of Aquaman by the legendary Don Newton. Don Newton is an artist I grew up just loving. So here's the pencils by Ivan Rice to a Brightest Day page. Once again, I should probably blue line these suckers. There's a great shot of Aquaman right there, looking tough and Mira. And then over here, this is one of my pride and joys of my collection that you'll have to take off my cold dead hands. Aquaman, splash page, full figure Don Newton goodness. I mean, good Lord. I got to be honest, that page, this is one of my favorite pages in my entire collection right there. It's from the 70s. It's Don Newton. I don't know if it's a credit page. Oh, it is. Let's see. I'm looking at it backwards. Paul Kupperberg wrote it. Who the hell inked it? Let me see. Inked by Frank Chiaramonte. I mean, that page right there. Woo! That's gold to me. I wish it was worth as much as gold, but that's gorgeous. All right, moving on. You're like, Don Newton. If you don't know who Don Newton is, you need to do some Googling. Do some Googling. Here's another Don Newton page and another Doug Mahnke page from when Doug was on Justice League back in the day, about 20 years ago. But so we've got the Doug page, inked by Tom Nguyen, another buddy of mine. And then another Don Newton page. Look at that figure of Shazam. Shazam! Like Gomer Pyle used to say in Andy Griffith's show. Shazam! Look at that. Oh my God. That's just gorgeous. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Don Newton art right there. Classic figure work. Great, great anatomy. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous! Back to John Romita Jr. I got a page of the Century, inked by Mark Morales, and then I got a page of pencils from DC Sneak Peek Superman 2015. I don't know if it was ever inked. I assume it was, but first, the Century, inked by Mark Morales. I just love this stuff. Look at that. Great shot of the Century there, looking kind of like a Golden Age costume. Love that. And then a page of Mr. Romita's pencils. Come on, look at that. Those are comic book pencils. These need an inker. You know, even I consider myself that I pencil too tight. But these, oh my God. This right here should be sent out to inkers as a test. If you can ink this, you deserve a job. All the information's there, but it definitely needs to be interpreted and inked. All right. I got another portfolio to go through. Hang in there, guys. Before I get to it, though, I'm going to show you another pride and joy of my collection. Remember I was talking about Dale Keown? You know, Pitt Dale Keown? Well, did you know in the 80s, before he was Mr. Incredible Hulk and Pitt and all that, he did a book called Dragon Force. This is a 2-page spread, pencil, inked, and colored by Mr. Dale Keown himself from Dragon Force. Oops. Check that out. 2-page spread. This is exactly how the book looks this is exactly how the spread looks in the printed comic book. He colored it himself. Dr. Martin dyes in watercolors. Dragon Force, early Dale Keown. I have no idea if this is worth anything, what it's worth, but I love it. Just love it. That's right, Fragaboom. Wow is right. I don't know where I got this. I've had it for over 20 years. Let's see. Look at that. So John Byrne. Look, you can see Dale's early influences of John Byrne, Bernie Wrightston. I mean, this dude right here has a Bernie Wrightston flavor to it. You know, this dude here has a John Byrne flavor to it. I just love this stuff. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, hit the notifications, all that stuff. Here's a couple John Buscema roughs. Here's a page of Conan, roughed out by John. This is what John would do, and then he would take this, and definitely Alan Davis. Oh yeah, Dale Keown, Alan Davis. Yep, you can see that influence. So this is John Buscema Conan rough. He would draw this and then put it on a light box and do his finished pencils over it. I don't know what story this is from. If anybody knows, please tell me, because I want to track down the issue and get it, just so I can have the actual issue this is from. So that's John Buscema breakdowns. Here's a John Buscema treat. This, I told Dan Fraga about this last night, or yesterday. John Buscema Batman. Don't know if he ever finished it. He might have just done it for fun, but it's 11 by 17. John Buscema pencils of Batman. Batman. In John's heyday, I would love to have seen him work at DC as well. Oh, you're right. Joe Jusko would know. I'll have to ask Joe what page that's from. Thanks, Dan. Fragaboom. Jusko would know where that Conan's from. I'm going to ask him. Thanks, brother. So there you go. Check that out. I mean, come on. Look at that. Batman by Big John Buscema. Epic is right. Here's an unfinished Bart piece that he gave up on. This was going to be for Wizard Magazine, but he gave up on it and started over. That's what Bart likes to do, start stuff and then start over. So this is going to be for Wizard Magazine, obviously Spider-Man and Venom and Carnage, and he gave up on it. He's a giver-upper. This is Bart when he would ink with a brush, which he hasn't done in years. Do I have anything from John Byrne? Yes, Eric, we're getting there. I have 3 pieces from John Byrne. Look at that, Spider-Man. Bart going, you know what? Todd can do it. I can do it too. That's just awesome. Oh my. Yes. Oh my. And then there's Carnage. You see Bart's breakdowns. You mean those arms, Dan? Fragaboom's like, those arms are inked awesome. Yeah, they are. So that's a big 2-page spread I've got. I even have color stuff. This is a color guide by Les Dorside. I probably butchered that last name, for Nexus. How cool is that? This is original colors over Steve Rude. It was colored on a printout of the page, and it has acetate over it. Here, I can show you. This is actually in a bag. So that's what the colors look like. And this is on Bristol board. And then you put the inks over it, and this is what they shot from. So that's pretty cool. That's called blue line coloring. Put that back there. Does everybody remember the DC style guides from the 80s by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez? I sure do. And I've got a Green Lantern page by Mr. Lopez, inked by Dick Giordano from the DC style guide. because I love me some Green Lantern. Yes, I do. That is good stuff right there. Man. Comics, right? Do we all know who? Well, hold on, let me see. These are like miscellaneous things. I have a Joe Staton who drew Green Lantern in the 80s for a long time. Con sketch. Yeah, that's right. Joe Staton, Green Lantern. Very cool. I've got a, this is the only other piece of Steve Rude art that I own. Nexus shot. Right there. By Mr. Steve Rude. And then do we all know who Gil Kane is? I had no idea what this was for. But back in the day, before Photoshop and computers, if there was supposed to be something pasted in, they would leave it blank. I wish that all those figures were drawn through. But unfortunately not. So we've got Superman, looks like Tarzan, Prince Valiant maybe, and I don't know who the dude is in the background holding the gun. But that is, that's Gil Kane. I bought it because of the Superman figure. Gil Kane goodness. What's the wah for, Dan? What do you wah over? What piece? Going back to my Don Simpson Megaton man. Don did this for me. Oh yeah, the Gil Kane, right? I tell you, man. So this is Don drawing Megaton Man and my character Penumbra from First Man. He did this for me back in 1999. I got a cover from my buddy John Beatty of the Comet. Let me lift up this acetate so there's not a shine on it. Once again, back before Photoshop and stuff, they would do all the cover stuff on paste ups. So this was penciled and inked by John Beatty for an issue of the Comet from a Michael Golden layout. Michael Golden was the art director at DC at the time, so he did the layout for it and sent it down to John, and John did the pencil and inks. And John was nice enough to gift this to me. So that's what the cover looks like with the logo and stuff. Let's see what else I got over here. Oh, remember the Marvel Universe stuff from back in the 80s? Here's a Kerry Gamble, Joe Rubinstein. I can't remember the name of the character. Dan, do you know the name of this character? But this is one of the drawings from the Marvel Universe Handbook, drawn by Kerry Gamble and inked by Joe Rubinstein. Love that. Love that chicken at Popeyes. Feels like I should have music in the background or something. Couple daily strips. I've got a Tom Smith, Rick Magyar, Zorro daily strip from a friend of mine, Paul Ryan, who unfortunately passed away a few years back. He drew the Phantom for a while, daily strip. So I got that from him by Mr. Paul Ryan. Thunderbolt, that's who that character is. Wayne nailed it. Look at you, Wayne. You go, Wayne. Thunderbolt. Thanks, buddy. What can I say? I grew up in the 80s, and in the 80s, I loved the Thundercats. Yeah, oh my God, this guy nailed it right here, Chris. Kerry Gamble, highly underappreciated. You are not kidding. I would love to see somebody like Scott Williams ink Carrie Gamble, or Mark Farmer ink Carrie Gamble. You know. Here we go. Ready? Thundercats Ho! From issue 5. I believe this is Jose Delbo. Jose was a teacher of mine at the Kubert School. This is inked by Brett Breeding. Love that stuff. Love Thundercats. So I picked that page up. Oh, here's an Art Adams rough. We've got stuff all over the floor. This is Art Adams rough for Nathan Never, I believe. Yep, Nathan Never, #2. It's a British thing. So that's a rough by Art that he would then blow up and trace off in pencil and then ink. Look how tight that is. That's crazy. Oh, I got another Gil Kane piece. I literally have no idea who this is. Oh, wait, this is his character. I'm going to hit myself in the head. Edge? I can't remember. This is a Gil Kane piece. It was a promotional image by Mr. Gill. Look at that. Good times. Do we know who Mark Beecham is? Raise your hand, even though I can't see you, if you know who the artist Mark Beecham is. Well, Mark Beecham did a 4-issue miniseries called Siphons, and did it come out through Image? I think it came out through Image. I know they did a trade paperback collection of it, which I own, which is all in black and white. I love Mark Beecham stuff. So this is a Mark Beecham page. From that, just love that stuff. Boom, look at that energy. All right, I think I'm on my last portfolio. Here's a Mike Zeck piece that I got before I broke into the comic industry. This was basically used. Mike was asked to draw a bunch of fake comic book covers for, I don't know, some TV show or something that they could put in the background and not have to worry about getting the license from a publisher. So it's a Mike Zeck piece. This is one of my first pieces of art. I think this is like the second piece of art I ever owned. So I love this. Love Mike Zeck. Oh, it says copyright Marvel Entertainment. I don't know. I don't know what it's for, but it's a gorgeous piece. Once again, I grew up when Mike Zeck Captain America, so I was able to get this Captain America page by Mr. Zeck and Mr. Beatty. Love this page. Great shot of Cap chucking his shield at the bad robot dude. Great inks by John Beatty. This is a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez page when he did that one issue of Nexus. Just love that issue. One of the few things he's never done for DC. Brian Hitch, back when he was doing Stormwatch. Got the old Brian Hitch action going on. Splash page. And then over here is a rough for Green Lantern that Bart did for a pinup book back in the 90s. We both did a pinup in. It was a Green Lantern gallery book. And that's Bart's underdrawing that he would trace off from. This is the stuff I love because you can really get inside the artist's head seeing this stuff. We all know who Ed McGuinness is, I assume. Do we? Raise your hands if you know who Ed McGuinness is. Come on, Ed McGuinness, DC staple. Let's check these two pages out. When he drew a book called Mr. Majestic. I think that's the name of the book. Look at these two fantastic pages. I believe these are inked by Nathan Massengill, another Kubert student. Love these pages. Look at that. That is just powerful stuff. Great stuff by Ed. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, share button. I just got a coffee delivered to me from my wonderful wife. She just got back and sweet taste of coffee. Okay, we know who Erik Larsen is. We know Erik Larsen's Spider-Man. I've got a Spider-Man page from issue 20. No Spider-Man, but Mr. Majestic. But it's got a great shot of Deathlock on it. Look at that. Got the lettering on it. God, I love pages with lettering. Christopher John, that was his best work to date, talking about Ed McGuinness. That was great work, Christopher. I got to tell you, I agree. That is some, I love the Mr. Majestic stuff. So that's Mr. Larsen. Somebody asked about Byrne. Here's one John Byrne page. This is a breakdown that was never used for a Superman page. So if you're curious what John Byrne, this is not full pencils. These are his breakdowns. His full pencils would be a little tighter, but that's from a Superman page that was never used. I picked up. Oh, great comment here by Fregaboom. Eric Spidey, where he inks his own stuff, so good. I cannot agree more, and this Deathlock page was inked by Eric as well. I totally agree. I love it when Eric inks his own work. Savage Dragon, still the only monthly book I get. I pick up comics every week, but Dragon's the only monthly one that I've had from day one. Here's a couple more John Byrne pages. One from an issue of Wonder Woman, believe it or not. That's not from an issue of The Flash. It's from an issue of Wonder Woman The Flash was in. And then one from his X-Men Hidden Years, inked by Tom Palmer. And Tom was really giving it that Neil Adams vibe. Because, you know, Tom Palmer inked Neil Adams on X-Men back in the day. There's the John Byrne stuff. Couple more Joe Staton pieces. I've got a splash page from an issue of Green Lantern from Mr. Joe Staton. And I've got his Power Girl piece for DC's Who's Who as well. So those are a couple cool pieces I own from Mr. Joe. Great Angel. Yes, it is. That Angel in that John Byrne page is phenomenal. That's what made me want to get the page. Here's a Ron Friends Superman page inked by Joe Rubenstein and a Joe Mad X-Men page inked by Tim Townsend. So first, here's the Ron Friends page. This is inked by Joe Rubenstein. I might be the only one on the planet that loved that blue costume Superman. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was different. I knew it wouldn't last forever. But I thought it was cool. There's that. And this is a X-Men page, Uncanny X-Men 342 by Joe Mad and Tim Townsend. Bishop in a spacesuit and Rogue in some type of spacesuit. Nice close-up of Bishop there at the bottom. Tim gifted me this page. He's a sweetheart, that Tim Townsend. Such a sweetheart. Excuse me as I have another sip of coffee. Oh, that's delicious. Mwah, delicious. Here is a Supreme page by Chris Sprouse next to a Mighty Man page by an artist named Vic Bridges, inked by Terry Austin. You'll notice Vic Bridges is very heavily influenced by John Byrne. Christopher John. Yep, dear Lord, I do have that incredible Madureira Bishop image. Thank you. So this is Chris Sprouse. I love Chris's clean, crisp line work. I believe inked by Carl Story. Just love that. Look at that. Oh, that is supreme. And in this, like I said, this is Vic Bridges. Vic's from Florida. I wish he did comics still. He did Freak Force for Eric Larson for its entire run. This Mighty Man page is a backup from an issue of Savage Dragon, I believe, inked by the legendary Terry Austin. This is probably the closest I'll ever get to a John Byrne, Terry Austin page, is Vic Bridges. And Vic makes no bones about it. He loves John Byrne, and you can tell. And I tell you what, Vic is awesome. Yep, I got Phase 1 phasers, man. I got the Phase 1. So here's a great comment. I remember Vic Bridges' Phase 1 phasers from AC Comics. I still have that miniseries, and I have the Phase 1 phaser sketchbook. Do you have that, Chris? That sketchbook is awesome. Yes, he did. All that art's absolutely stellar to see, but the shirt puts me over the moon. You know it, Jim. It's Cowboy time. It's going to be Cowboys against the Niners, and God, they're probably going to find a way to blow it. Their season's over. Oh, well, life goes on. Oh, here's a Tom Rainey Stormwatch page inked by my buddy Randy Elliott, next to a Submariner page, pencil and inked by Jeff Hersherwood when he was on the book. So first, the Tom Rainey page from Stormwatch, inked by my buddy Randy Elliott. Love that figure. Don't know who it is. Can't remember. But love it. And then over here is Jeff Isherwood, who I met actually 2 years ago at a convention for the first time. Talked to him online a few times, but never met him until a few years ago at a convention, I believe in 2018. Sat next to each other. Great guy. Love that figure of Submariner right there. So that's that stuff. Oh, Kelly Jones of Batman fame and, well, Kelly Jones fame in his own right. So John Beatty and I shared a studio, like I said, in the early 90s. And John was inking Kelly Jones at the time with Batman. Well, little known fact, shh, let's keep this between us. I inked a couple pages of Kelly Jones on the Batman stuff just to have fun. And John was like, yeah, go ahead. He had enough confidence in me he was behind on deadline, so I inked a couple pages. The page I'm about to show you isn't one of the ones I inked. However, it's one of the ones John inked, and it doesn't have Batman on it, but I just love this big goof dude on the page right there. So that's Kelly Jones and John Beatty, Batman page with no Batman. And then a Dan Jurgens, Brett Breeding Superman page. I love Brett Breeding's inks, just love it. And I love that figure in the top panel and that close-up. So got that. Getting towards the end here, guys. Oh, let's see. Getting towards the end. So, not last but least at all, this is from an issue of Marvel 2-in-1. Now, this was an issue of Marvel 2-in-1 I bought as a kid. It was the Thing. Marvel 2-in-1 was the book that started the Thing, and he teamed up with other characters. This issue, he teamed up with Nighthawk. I love Nighthawk. Loved this shot when I was a kid. I was like, oh my God, that's a splash page. It was drawn by Ron Wilson and inked by Pablo Marcos. So I could never find this page, but I did become friends with Pablo Marcos at CrossGen. So I asked Pablo if he'd be willing to recreate the page for me, and he did. And he penciled in all the lettering. He didn't want to ink the lettering because he didn't think his lettering was that good, but he penciled it all in. So at some point, I might have my buddy Steve Dutro, who's a letterer. He's also a ex-Kubert student. We shared we were roommates in a house together in our first year at Kubert school, and Steve Dutro's gone on to letter like everything in the industry. I might have him letter this at some point, just so it looks complete. But this is a recreation, but I just love it. And then I do have one Jim Lee page as well. It's not X-Men. It's from his issue of Gen 13. This is my one and only Jim Lee page. that I own from the issue of Gen 13 that Jim did. You know, it's inked by Scott Williams, drawn by Jim Lee. It's got a nice, sexy figure on it. So, you know, I was able to get it for a good deal, so I did. And hopefully at some point I can maybe get another Jim Lee page. But if not, I've got my one, and I love it. So that's my Jim Lee page. And we'll end the live stream with a page from Super Patriot. Back in the day, Dave Johnson's first work, I believe, in storytelling comics. Dave and I traded. I believe I traded him a Quasar cover, a Quasar cover for this. So this is my one piece of Dave Johnson artwork. Die Hard from Youngblood on the last page of an issue of Super Patriot. And that is it. That I have a few other pieces in the collection, but I've been rambling for an hour and a half, so I figure it's probably a good time to go. But before I sign off, I need to once again talk about my Indiegogo campaign. I would love it if everybody could back it. It's right here. You don't need to see my dumb face in the corner, so I'll make it full screen. This is my current campaign on Indiegogo. It's First Man, my superhero that I created. Touch of Captain Marvel, touch of Shazam, a little bit of Thanos going on with this big dude. If you like fun, action-packed Silver Age comics, you'll love this. It's 64 pages, square bound, you know, perfect bound, not stapled. These are the characters right here. Luke Henry, Apollo, Penumbra, Monarch. That's the scale. Look how big this dude is. Each character is going to have their own Marvel Universe type page to tell about them. These are some of the pages from inside the book. Who's that schlub? Who's that guy? That's my ode to Joe Kubert. Joe would start off stories of himself at his drawing table talking about the story, so I had to do that. So these are pages. So I would love it if you could back this. It would just, you know, I want to make this project come to life, and I need your help to do it. Let's see here. There's a link. I just posted a link to it. So if you can go there, back it. Let's make this baby come to life. Michael says, very cool. Thanks for sharing. It makes me want to draw. Actually, I was drawing the whole time. Great stuff. Well, you know what? I'm glad, because honestly, it makes me want to draw. I need to leave this stuff out next to my desk. Because honestly, like I said, I keep all this artwork. Oh, I dropped something. Oh, don't need that. I keep all this artwork in these, you know, portfolios, and I keep those portfolios in a bigger portfolio that has a zipper on it. And honestly, I keep it in a closet. I look at it maybe once a year. I should really pull it out and have it next to my desk for inspiration, because I'm really jazzed up right now. I can show you if you guys want to see something I'm working on for fun. This is the rough, but I'm working on a Justice League piece for fun. Hopefully I'll finish it this week, so you can see, you know, Main Man, Superman with Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Aquaman down there. Hopefully I'll finish that this week. But once again, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I hope to do more. The next one I do, I think I'm going to do some drawing. So drawing and chatting. I'll do the drawing digitally so I can share my screen. I'll probably pop one day, 1 or 2 days this week before Christmas, and hopefully you'll join me and watch me draw. Until then, please, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share my channel. And Facebook, just like me. Please like me. Please. And, you know, anytime you want to contact me, that would be great. And let me know. Until then, bye, guys. It was a blast. See you next time. Have a great Sunday.